Alright, so here we have the FiiO E10K. Now this is a DAC amp combo by the company FiiO. Now this is pretty much the DAC amp combo that I use for pretty much all my headphones, and I want to do a review on them since I've used it with a lot of pairs of headphones, and I think I can make a conclusion, especially now that I've gotten a large variety of headphones. Now right here next to them are actually the HE400Is, and I thought this was the perfect time to do a review on this because I've reached the limits of what this is capable of. Now the FiiO E10K is a DAC amp combo, as in the DAC and the amp are both in here, and because of that, you pretty much don't need to have two separate things, anything like the shit stack or the panda stack or anything like that. Everything is all in here, and that is convenient, and it's small, and the main issue really is the fact that it's USB powered. Because everything about it I enjoy. I enjoy the form factor of it, I enjoy the knob on it, I enjoy the bass boost. Everything about it so far has been fantastic. What bothers me is the fact that since it is USB powered, it cannot power headphones that require a lot more juice, and I can just name a few of them. The FiiO, or the HE400Is, the Mark IIIs, the AKG K7XXs, the K612s, those kinds of headphones. I feel like this doesn't work well with them. The volume gets plenty high. I feel like in terms of volume you get it, but not everything about the amp has to be about volume, because with your phone, for a lot of headphones you can get decent volume, but it might not be providing the power necessary to really work to its maximum potential. And the FiiO E10K, I feel like where it really tops off is the DT770 80 ohms. That I feel is where it stops powering to its full potential. I can probably maybe get a little bit more from a 770 if I went with a different amp or a more powerful amp, but it won't be substantial to the point where I feel like this is not powering them adequately enough. The 400Is I feel like still require just a little bit more juice to really get the most out of the sound for them. And because of that, I have now a shit Magi 2. Not the Uber, just the Magi 2, and with that I feel like it should be more than enough to power pretty much anything. But the FiiO E10K has pretty much reached its limit on usefulness. But does that make it a bad amp DAC? Well, no, not at all. In terms of DAC, I feel like that the DAC on it is adequate, and I'm basing that on the fact that compared to onboard and compared to my Behringer audio interface, this pretty much beats it out. The amplification on this is more than adequate for pretty much every headphone that I have besides the very powerfully hungry ones. Even the Mark IIIs, I feel like it won't get them that much more out of them from a more powerful amp without any, mods being done to the headphones itself, Like, some people have some Mark IIIs that are very, very hard to drive. Mine, I feel like, aren't that hard to drive. I mean, I could still get really good sound off of it on my phone, and with the E10K, it pretty much I feel like, if anything, I'm going to get maybe an extra 5% from anything else. But there's also the K7XX that I feel like it is not driving well enough. And that's kind of the problem of USB. A USB amp DAC combo, or just a standalone amp, if it's powered by USB, it's limited in what it's capable of because of the fact that USB just doesn't provide enough power. So pretty much the amp setup that you're going to want if you're going to be using some harder to drive headphones is going to be something wall powered. That's the only way to really go with it. The FiiO E10K at this point is pretty much just the amp DAC for my laptop, and I use it for pretty much almost anything. Because I trust it. I enjoy the best bass boost on it, but for my HE400Is, I don't feel like it's adequate enough power. For the Mark IIIs, I feel satisfied using it. For the DT770s, I feel satisfied using it. For pretty much everything else that I've tested, the SHPs, the Superlux 681, the Audio Technica AT-HM50s, uh, the edifiers, everything like that, more than adequate power. But for something like the 400i's, the K12 or K612 Pros, the K7XXs, stuff like that, it's not enough. It's not enough. You're going to get the volume that you want, but you're not getting the fullness in the sound, and that's really just a limitation of the USB itself. So what this is really going to become for me now is my DAC, because since it has a line out, pretty much it's just going to be used for DAC purposes, because the DAC on it I feel is going to be adequate enough for pretty much everything. I don't feel like the DAC is doing anything wrong. A DAC's a DAC, you know, and it's pretty much going to be better than anything you're going to have on board. And if you want to go for something like a MODI or a ODAC later down the line, you can totally do that. But if all you want to do is spend your money on an amp, and you already have one of these, use this as the DAC. Since it has line out, pretty much you just get a 3.5mm to RCA cable, and you can plug it into pretty much anything. And I mean, it gets plenty loud for pretty much everything. It has low and high gain, and on high gain, I feel like the Mark IIIs get the power that they need to at least get to a good place. The 770s, I feel like, get pretty much almost everything they're going to get out of it. But everything else feels like it's lacking. It's lacking. Because I can turn the volume up as high as I want on these, but it won't get to the level that I want it to. And because of that, I've invested on the Magnate 2, so that I have now something where I can get the full potential of the more expensive, more high-end headphones that I have. But if, I mean, all you're rocking is like low sensitivity headphones, low impedance, or high sensitivity, low impedance headphones, and you're pretty good. You're pretty good. Because if you have M50s, this will make the bass boost on there can actually be pretty fun. If you guys have the SHPs, this, you're not really going to be getting too much out of this. The bass boost isn't going to work out too well with it, but I mean, you're getting a cleaner sound because it's an external sound card essentially. So this has its purposes, and I feel like I get good sound out of it from a lot of the things that I have. But for the higher end stuff, I feel like it's reached its limit, and I'm fine with that because, you know, this is like $70. I pretty much got a good amount of usage out of this thing, and I'm not going to stop using it. It's still going to be, you know, putting in work. It's still going to be the DAC that I use all the time. I'll still use it to power pretty much most of the headphones that I have. In all honesty, it could power maybe 70% of all the headphones that I have, and with that, it's pretty great, you know? And the bass boost on it, I think, is actually pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I mean, it distorts the mids a little bit, but it's not enough that I can say that it ruins it, and it just gives it that extra layer of fun, especially for headphones that aren't exactly the most balanced, and you just want to get the most out of the bass on them. But yeah, pretty much my conclusion on the FiiO E10K is it is pretty damn good at what it sets out to do, and that is be a USB DAC amp. And honestly, I can't complain about it. The bass boost is fantastic. It has line out, so it can be a standalone DAC. It has coaxial out. I mean, the only issue that I can really have is I would probably have preferred if the plug on it was a 1/4 inch instead of 1/8 inch, because some headphones do come with a bigger plug, and I don't want to have to use, you know, an adapter for it. If it was just a bigger plug, I could just literally keep one of the big adapters here, and that's it. That's all I would need. Because, you know, if I have headphones that use the big plug already, just take out the adapter, plug in the actual cable. Or if, like most headphones, it's just a 3.5mm one, just take out or just plug in the little a 1/4 inch in with the adapter, and it's good to go. But yeah, pretty much that wraps up what I think about it. Do I recommend getting this? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It works just fine. The bass boost on it is fun. I mean, there's others you can get. You could get, the Mica Origin. You can get the, well, the Micro Origin is more expensive, but the knob is on top. You can get, the Dragonfly. You can get the Shitfulla. Anything like that, but I feel like the main selling point on this is the fun bass boost.